All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. After a couple of weeks off, we had a bye week last week, so took a break, and let's get back to football, Coach. Irwin County a couple of weeks ago didn't go quite the way we wanted, but we started fast right out of the gate.
Well, going into the Irwin game, I felt like that Irwin County was the best football team in our region and could very well be the best team in single A. I believe that they were better than we were, and I was hoping that we were going to rise to the challenge and play better than we did. The biggest problem with that game was more them than us. Their offensive line is quite possibly the best high school offensive line we've ever went against. They're all seniors, led off by their center, who's a college prospect, possibly Division I college prospect at center, and that offensive line was just dominating the line of scrimmage. And then in the backfield, number 20 and number 1 were just the best running backs on the field that night, and both of them, I believe, are seniors. So the good part is we saw them, we played them, we're done with them. So maybe that they'll move on, and after this year we won't have to see that same crew no more. But again, we weren't real pleased with the outcome. I didn't feel that we were focused the way we needed to be before the game, throughout the game, and I felt like after the game our mentality wasn't where it should have been, almost as though that we expected to win. I wasn't sure going in how our attitude was about this thing. I mean, been doing this for a long time, and kids are hard to read. There's been a lot of times before a game I just didn't think we were ready. It was just the opposite. We were ready, and then there's been times where I felt like, we're ready for this. The kids seem focused, everything seems to be right, and we go out and we don't do well. So that's hard to judge. But then after the game, I was just really disappointed that we weren't. It became evident then that we did not go into the game expecting to win the game. And of course, we didn't play like it throughout the game. But give all the credit in the world to Coach Noble and the Irwin County Indians. Those guys were by far the best team that night. And I'd like to see the team that beats them. I really would. I know everybody's talking about Marion and Hawkinsville. And I know that Marion and Hawkinsville are very, very good. But I tell you, this Irwin County football team, they look like a team that has a great shot to win it all. I really believe that. And they completely dominated us, and there wasn't a whole lot we can do about it. We got off to a real fast start.
We did.
Second play of the game, scored a touchdown, but then that was really it till a lot later in the game. But again, and physically, we didn't come out real well either. Now they were a very physical football team. This open week has come at just the perfect time for us.
Definitely. Because
we have needed to sit some kids down and let them heal a little bit this time of the year. We've already played 6 games. We're 5-1. You told me back in August after 6 games you'll be 5-1. I'd been very pleased with that, very excited about that. But again, now that we are 5-1, I wish we were 6-0. But anyway, we needed this break, and we took some days last week to let the kids just be kids and let them just get away from football for a little while and heal up. And even this week, we're still having to do some healing up. But we're on our way back, and we feel like that hopefully by Friday we're going to be ready for Wilcox, hopefully.
All right. Well, let's talk about the bye week. I know you talked about the healing and the process. What goes on? A lot of people that aren't around the football all the time. What goes on during a bye week? Is it routine as usual?
Well, people think, you got an open week, you got a bye week, you just take the whole week off. That's far from the truth. We still work. Monday was a day that I had the players and had the coaches, everybody just get away from everybody. Just come to school on Monday. We got a little bit of a workout in the weight room, and just biggest thing was during the day I was checking injuries like I do always on Monday to make sure where everybody is as far as the injuries go. And then after school Monday, everybody went their own way. Everybody got away from it, and it was kind of the first time I've got to see my house in the daylight for quite some time.
It's been a while.
Been a while. And then Tuesday we got together. We watched film. I think the weather wasn't real good, so we watched film. We put we really put Irwin County away. We put it away, and we're done with it. And then we moved on to Wilcox. We introduced Wilcox to the players on film, and then even on Tuesday, and this is unusual, I've never done this before, I gave them that day off after film. We went to about 5 o'clock, so we usually still go out and do some work, but we let them go on home then, and then we had a coaches meeting, and we discussed really what do we do from this point on, and any adjustments we have to make, and so forth, and that lasted till late that evening on Tuesday. Then Wednesday we were able to go out, and we had a good practice. Thursday we practiced for about an hour, and had a B-team game, a very entertaining B-team game.
It was a good one up until the last 2 minutes.
At the very end, last couple of minutes of the game, it got away from us. But again, B-team football is really entertaining, though. Any way you look at it, it's always a good time. And then Friday was one of those days that we told the kids, hey, just when the bell rings after school, go home, relax, get away from it, and that sort of thing. And I think they did. So when they came back Monday, I think we're ready to go, ready to really dive into Wilcox County. And again, right now we're trying to get over some injuries, and we're making sure that we don't add to the injuries,
right.
And so forth, so we can get ready for these last 4 games.
I was avoiding the injury report. It seems like when we started that part of the show, we were popping up with these serious injuries.
Well, right now we got some question marks, really do, but I think they're healing. I think they're coming along fine. Had a few kids go to advanced rehab today after school, and spent some time with them, and we'll find out more tomorrow. But I look for Friday, everybody being at full speed. All
right. Well, Coach, let's lean toward Friday night now. Like you said, put Irwin County behind us and the bye week and all. And leading up to the 2004 football team is coming here, but I thought Chris Beasley, our executive producer over there, behind the computers and everything, he found an interesting tidbit the other day. He posted on Charlton Sportsnet. Coach Stephen Simpson from Georgia Military College had this to say about Charlton County football. I thought it was interesting. He was asked who was the most competitive or who was the hardest opponent they had ever had or he had ever faced. And he said it was the 06 Charlton County Indians. And apparently back then it was Dwight Dasher, and he was Coach Simpson was the Dublin's linebacker coach, I guess, during the state championship game that day.
That was a great team, and a lot of the kids that were on that team were also really instrumental in winning the 2004 state championship. Yeah. A lot of those kids were just were all together during that 4-year run where we played for it, the state championship in 03, lost to Buford at Buford, and turned around the next year. A lot of those kids were sophomores, went back up to Buford and played for the state championship, and then won it. Yeah. And then we won the next 2 after that. So a lot of those kids were together, and like you said, Friday night is going to be a very important night, and not only it's homecoming, which is also very huge around here, homecoming, and Wilcox County's coming to town, big region game, and huge that we get back on track with that game. And then also we have the 2004 state championship reunion, 10-year reunion. We've got some things set up for them. We're going to give them some things, some T-shirts and so forth, and we're going to feed them right here in the meeting room in our new field house, and give them an opportunity to walk through the new field house. And I know they're going to
love this.
They're going to love it, and they're probably also going to be upset that they never had anything like this, because those guys were towards the end of the life of that old field house, and they knew how rough it was in there, and a lot of times no air conditioning, a lot of times no heat, and it'd be nothing to go in there and find a snake laying in your locker or frogs everywhere. But so they're going to look at this and they're going to be impressed. I know they will, and they're going to be proud that they were part of this happening. They really were. And they're also going to be a little bit envious that they didn't have this whenever.
They may try to suit up, Coach.
They may, and also, like I told this year's team, I said that when these guys come in now and they see what you have, you don't need to go out and play soft. They're going to probably call you out.
Oh, yeah.
And you better go out and put on a good show. But the 2004 team, that was coming. We had a real interesting 03 year. We made it to the state championship. That was Jeremy Privett's senior year. That was the year we threw the ball every down. Didn't have really any running backs and so forth. And traveled up to Buford in the state championship game, and then lost it. But then turned around the next year in 04. Had a great year. Then we had one loss. That was during the regular season, and I believe that was to Fitzgerald during the regular season.
Right.
And that year, that kept us from winning the region championship. That put us in the number 2 bracket, second place bracket, and right there throughout the playoffs. First round was Pike County here. Second, and we did well. Swainsboro here, blew them out in the second round. Quarterfinals, Coosa from Rome, up around Rome area, came down. We beat them solidly, 28-7. Then it was on to the Dome. And in the Dome, we played Laney, who was a very large, very, very fast football team out of Augusta, and we beat them 18-12. And then it was on to Buford again for the state championship, for the state championship game. And I remember Buford in the semis, they blew out their opponent. I forgot who it was, but they just blew them out. And we had a hard-fought 18-12 football game with Laney. So I imagine Buford was looking at us thinking they barely got through the semis, so this should be a piece of cake. And then we get up there and we beat Buford 35-20 on their field. And I tell you, winning a state championship is great. Winning a state championship in Buford is even better. I mean, I'll tell you, we'd love to play it at home. But I'm going to be honest with you, there's nothing like winning a state championship at Buford against them. So that was really an amazing night for us, and that started a nice run we had for a few years after that.
I've got to ask you, if you had Buford in the Dome or Buford at their place and you win?
Oh, by far you want to play them at their place, without a doubt.
Place.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it was really, there's all kinds of stories that went on with that game, and you look at our football team where I had 2 coaches that were up in the box compared to they had 6 coaches up in the box and all that, and just the big Buford, and there's us Charlton, but yet we were able to get it done. And the biggest thing people ask me, I mean, probably the question I've been asked the most in my whole career is, how do you beat Buford at Buford? And the biggest thing is you got to have kids like we had who were not easily intimidated at all. And that were extremely confident, you know, and your Dwight Dashers and Lemuel Walkers and those guys were extremely confident. And you roll in there and you just, nothing seems to bother you. And you play football. I was probably more intimidated by the surroundings than the kids were. And also, they if you remember just another little story, they play that wolf sound, that howl, all the time. Well, all that week, we put that CD in our press box.
Really?
And that week we practiced on the game field because we knew that it was the last game of the season. And we played that howl the entire practice. And it got to where, instead of being intimidating, it got to be a joke to us. So when we got up there and we heard that howl, the kids pretty much just started laughing at it instead of being intimidated by it. But anyway, that was an incredible group of kids, and that was an incredible year. And I look forward to seeing those guys. And you want to get on some of the members of that team?
Oh yeah, I noticed Tammy and I were going through the program, and the 2004 team is just, I mean, there's almost a quarter-page section down here.
Yeah, you know,
all region players.
And we're starting with the kids who made All-State, and of course these guys also made All-Region. But the All-State kids that year in 04, Justin Mincy. And you had Justin Williams, Justin Mincy, first team. Justin Williams, Justin Mincy was also the defensive player of the year for AA that year. Justin Williams, Fred Zhao, linebacker. Dwight Dasher, of course, our quarterback. Lemuel Walker was All-State, and those were our All-State players that year. And of course, also guys that were All-Region that year. Of course, we mentioned Lemuel Walker, John Boatwright. Justin Williams, Patrick Brooks, first team tight end, Josh Stafford. Josh, just an incredible worker, incredible kid. Justin Mincy was our region defensive player of the year. Dustin Nobles, Maurice Moo Sims, who's coaching one of the rec teams out here, Coach Moo now. Devon Whitley, LT Glover, Dwight Dasher, Harry Martin, Jeff Smith, Marquise Lambert, we mentioned Fred Zhao and David Pender, my defensive back coach now, was on that team. And I think we've mentioned some of these guys already. And just what a great group of guys, and it's just very talented group and a real mixture of different classes right there. But a lot of talent in that sophomore class that year. But there was also some great players throughout that in the other classes, and some of those guys
of them went on to play college and pro.
That's right, and some of the guys that off that team that went on to play college football that year. We had. Of course, Justin Mincy, Florida State, John Boatwright, Valdosta State, Dustin Nobles, Valdosta State, Devon Whitley, Pikeville College, Fred Zhao, Carson Newman, Harry Martin went to Reedley College out in California. Justin Williams went to the University of Florida and won a national championship there. David Pender went to Purdue, and from there he went on and played some in the NFL. We had L.T. Glover go on from that team that went on and played at Pikeville College, Dominique Braxton, Pikeville College, D.J. Donnelly, Georgia Tech, DeVario Greaves, Purdue, Dwight Dasher, Middle Tennessee, Caleb Giddens, Carson Newman, Marquise Lambert, Jacksonville University, Terrence Milton, Carson Newman.
Off of one team.
Yeah, all that, and it keeps on going. Adam Davis, Kansas State, and just really an incredible group of kids. And it's 10 years since that team was together, but I know there's a tight bond amongst those guys, and I've managed to stay in touch with a lot of them. And I know that a lot of them live other places throughout the country. I think Justin Williams either lives out in California, Las Vegas. I can't keep up with him and where he's at all the time, but. So, I know a lot of guys will not be able to make it, but there will be a good representation to this for this team. And I know the quarterback club, Brian Hewling, we're stepping up. They're going to cater it. They're going to have all kinds of really good food for them in here.
On a pregame before the 7 o'clock
exactly,
ceremony.
And give them a really nice state championship T-shirt and cup and so forth. So really happy with our quarterback club for stepping up and making this a special event. And Glenn Hughes, and I know we're looking at all this information. This is all gathered by Glenn Hughes. Does an incredible job. I mean, it's just, you don't find hardly any high schools, big high schools or small high schools, that has the kind of information we have about the history of Charlton County football, and that's all because of Glenn Hughes. And
it's at your fingertips. Anybody can find it.
Exactly, and hopefully, and I plead to people, really, try to come to the game early. Try to be there just before 7 o'clock if you can, because 7 o'clock, we're wanting to walk those guys out on the field, and Robert Bryant, who does our PA, Robert's going to introduce each one of them and say something about them and so forth. So hopefully we get a nice big crowd there early to welcome those guys back and show that our appreciation. And now that we've done it, we did it in '99, we did that back in '09. We're doing this now in 2014. Well, next year, we're going to have to do it all over again with the 05 group, which will be a lot of the same guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do it all over with the 06 group, which will be a lot of the same guys. But they deserve it. I mean, winning a state championship's hard. I mean, it is very, very difficult to do. You got to be talented. You got to be lucky. Everything's just got to fall into line. At the beginning of the season, a lot of teams are good enough to win state championships. You just got to make it through the season and be where you need to be come playoff time. And this group right here was able to do it 4 times and win 3 of them. So that's really amazing. And you look at a lot of schools just in our area or all over the country that say, have you ever won a state championship? No. Have you ever played for one? No. We would love just to even get to play for one. So you look how lucky we've been at Charlton County with football, now baseball. We've won 3 in track, 2 in baseball, and
softball's coming on.
Softball's really turned it up. They're starting to playoffs. What a great group of kids playing softball right now. And I know
fourth year straight for them. 4th year straight for them.
And that group only has 1 senior, so that entire team, for the most part, will be back next year intact.
And that's something.
With a chance with high expectations on themselves.
You know, Coach Baxter's grinning from ear to ear.
He should be. He does a great job. I'll tell you, Coach Baxter used to coach football for me, and he was one of the best assistants I ever had in football. And when I watch him coach baseball and watch him coach softball, I tell you what, we are extremely fortunate to have him as our softball coach, and I know our baseball program would not be where it's at today if it wasn't for Mike Baxter, and he's just done an incredible job.
That's definite. All right, Coach, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back. We're going to double up on the Senior Spotlight this week.
Okay.
And we'll be right back after this message.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show, our Senior Spotlight now, Coach. We're going to bust it up between the two gentlemen. Start off with number 19, Kurt Nixon.
You know, Kurt Nixon has been a kid that I've followed in football and basketball since his junior high days. Kurt is just really one of our best athletes we have on our football team. Of course, Kurt is the son of Curtis and Pamela Nixon. And I tell Kurt, I said, when you're at your best, you got your parents for credit for that, because I know they do a great job with him. And Kurt has some really high expectations for himself. You watch him play, he's a playmaker on offense. He's a playmaker in special teams. And, this coming week we're going to ask him to step up and play some defensive back also, because Wilcox County is a throwing football team, and they throw the ball pretty well. But, and we talked about our program, our game night program, and again, I'm extremely proud of it. We have a nice senior section, but, you look at Kurt's little bio, his favorite food is shrimp Alfredo, and it's really funny to see what these guys, what their favorite foods are, their favorite subject in school. Now, the subject, they always give me science or math. I'm about to call them out on that, because I can't buy that a lot of these guys' favorite subjects are science and math, but Kurt says his is math. I'll go back and talk to his math teachers and see how that's working out for him. But Kurt is a very, very good student. I know there's a lot of colleges that are interested in him as far as college football. So hopefully, come 1st of February, Kurt's going to sign a full scholarship with somebody, and I know that I'm going to be proud of him. His parents are going to be proud of him, and again, he's also our best basketball player that we have in our school. And so when football's over, you'll be able to catch him right over there on the hardwood playing basketball. And again, he's a great kid for us. He's an awesome young man to work with. And the thing that I've been able to see with all these kids, Kurt also included, is you see them in junior high, but you don't deal with them much in junior high. And then you see them, they come to you in the 9th grade, and you see what you have with them in the 9th grade, and then all of a sudden they start maturing, they grow up some, and you kind of go through all the trials with that, and then by the time the senior year, you got yourself a good young man like you do in Kurt Nixon. So number 19, Kurt Nixon's our senior player of the week.
All right, Coach. Well, we're going to take a short break and we'll come back. We're going to talk about Brandon Green.
Okay.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
All right, welcome back to our third segment of the Coach Mack Show, Senior Spotlight, featuring number 41, Brandon Green, Coach.
Brandon Green has been a kid that's been in our program from the very beginning. Brandon is the son of his parents are Mitchell Green and Jamie Green. Brandon, has been someone who's always worked hard, been there every day, and he had a real setback about midway through his high school football career. He tore his ACL and had to have surgery on that, and that's going to cost you pretty much a year when that happens. And then it really took him a little while to get that thing going again, and really he didn't really feel good about it until this season. And I'm real happy that we got him on kickoff team now. He's going down. He's made a few tackles for us, and he's doing a great job right there. And Brandon is just his brother played for us, and he's got a cousin also younger cousin that plays for us. Brandon's just a really awesome kid. Just one of those guys that just always great to be around and have around. He's really no maintenance as far as having.
Love those kids.
Yeah, I love him. You don't have to worry about what's going on when he's not here. You don't have to worry about what he's doing in the classroom. He always gets the job done. Of course, he has goals for himself. He wants to go to college, and I know that he's looking forward to moving on with that after he gets done playing high school football, and also. He also ran track for us last year, and again with his knee, he finally felt good with his knee, and he ran some distance for us, and we were really excited about the job he did in track, and hopefully he's back out there for his senior year and competing there. But again, this guy I can more relate to the shrimp Alfredo stuff and all this other stuff these kids talk about now. But he likes barbecued ribs, so that's my kind of guy right there. But again, it just a really great guy, number 41. When we kick off, just look for him. He's given us a great effort, and one of the first guys down there making the plays. And again, really, really proud and really have enjoyed to be around Brandon Green these last 4 years.
All right, Coach. It says we were questioning Kurt's favorite subject. You feel pretty solid about Brandon on math?
Well, I do, but again, some of these guys, you look at this thing, you see a lot of math, a lot of science, and maybe a history here. I don't know why they just don't tell you the truth and talk about lunch and PE on there, but that's probably what I would have said, lunch and PE. But anyway, I'm sure that we got some really great math teachers at our school. Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's what it is.
They make it to where these kids can understand math. I guarantee you, math wouldn't have been mine. Nor science, nor history. Again, I would have been stuck with the PE and lunch stuff. But again, these seniors are just a really great group of kids to be around, and seeing them come up, seeing them develop, it's just really been a lot of fun to see where they've gotten to in their high school careers and just their development.
All right. Well, congratulations to number 41, Brandon Green. You're our number 2 senior spotlight this week for homecoming against Wilcox County.
That's right.
Gant Hardware and Hunting at 3872 Main Street in Folkestone is a proud sponsor of Charlton Indians football broadcasts. Stop by and see Patty or Mark for all your hardware or hunting needs.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show, our final segment. We're going to dive into Wilcox County, Coach. Right now with the region, Irwin undefeated in the region. Then you have Clinch, Wilcox, and Charlton all fighting for that second spot.
Wilcox County is, last year they had their struggles a year ago, and we went over there and played them, and it was one of those games where we scored a bunch of points, and at the end it felt like we needed every one of them because Wilcox is extremely athletic. They're going to have a chance to score every play. On defense, they run to the ball very well. Again, we all know about Wilcox and Nick Marshall, starting quarterback at Auburn. Played there. We played against him, and also they have his last name's Howard. He's a starting wide receiver up at North Carolina. They've had a couple kids right now in the NFL, so they produce some great players at Wilcox, and they have some great players now. They got a lot of size on the offensive and defensive line, a lot of speed everywhere else on the field. And throughout this entire year, up until last week, when they beat Turner County and Telfair is a very good football team, and they ended up beating Telfair real solidly. That was the first game since their preseason that they had their quarterback back and their starting running back back. They've been out most of all the season up to this point.
They're coming together right when they're coming here.
As of last week, and now this open week, Wilcox has had all their players back. So they're not the same team that lost to Clinch, and actually they had a lead on Clinch, 14-0. They're not the same team that may have lost to Hawkinsville earlier in the year. This team's a good football team right now. It's a playoff team, and it's a team that could very well advance in the playoffs. I really believe that. Now, they're going to roll in here and have an open week like we did. They're going to feel good about the fact they beat a good Telfair team, and they're going to feel good about they have all their starters in place for the first time this year since last week. So it's a game that hopefully our guys are ready for. Hopefully mentally we're where we need to be. And with this group this year, with this football team this year, we have some talent. At times we look like a really good football team. We've had some nice wins. But again, there's been also times that you just don't know where we're coming from or what's going on, and really have to kind of hang on and weather the storm in some games and try to until we get it going. So hopefully it's going to be interesting. We're coming off a big loss, they're coming off a big win, and we got plenty of distractions this week with homecoming, the talent show, the festival last weekend, the parade, the talent show on Monday night. And then we got Powder Puff on Wednesday night, and so forth. And then we got our last junior high football game this Thursday.
They were rained out today?
They were rained out today. They're going to play this Thursday. That's the last one. And if they win, they'll be undefeated. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we'll have a big crowd Thursday out here at the Swamp and cheer on our Braves to an second undefeated season in the last 2 years.
They've been doing a good job down there.
Big thing is we're trying to get our kids to understand, we need to be ready. We have 4 weeks left to the regular season, just 4 games. We play what I feel is 3 teams in a row that are plenty good enough to beat us. It's not inconceivable that we could lose these 4 games here in a row. I mean, I hate to think it. I hate for it to happen. But we knew Irwin County was plenty good enough to beat us, and they did. They beat us soundly. Wilcox definitely good enough to beat us. Then we traveled to Telfair, 2 hours away. Telfair, last time we played up there, they beat us, and they're a good football team. And then we come home to Clinch. Last year, Clinch just completely dominated us in Homerville. So there's 3 more games. There's 3 games coming up of teams that are as good as us, if not better than us. So hopefully our kids are focused and ready for this one, and we have a great game. We can build off of it and go to Telfair, and then, of course, come home for our senior night right here.
Are we expecting to see the same sort of offense out of Wilcox that we've seen in the past, more of a pass first than run?
They are a one-back, 2-back set. Their spread offense, and I know that their coach, Mark Ledford, who's a fantastic coach, they won the state championship in 2009. Having one of his kids over at Auburn, he's had opportunity to spend some time with the Auburn coaching staff, learn a lot of the Auburn offense, which is spread option, a lot of change, misdirection, and also very, very good play action passing game. And he will. They'll run that, the spread, and do a lot of different things out of it. And the thing that Coach Ledford does real well is he has the ability to check and change his pass routes to where, and what I call tag the pass routes to where he could change whatever coverage you're in. No matter what coverage you're in, there's something that's available. All right, and if you're pressing, it's deep. If you're off, it's underneath. And he has the ability to tag his pass routes to where they're going to throw the best pass possible according to the coverage you're in. So Coach Woods and Coach Penders worked hard this week with our secondary, with our linebackers, running a lot of different multiple-looking schemes to hopefully slow them down, give them a little bit of confusion. But again, they're a very, very good football team. It's going to be a 48-minute war, I think, and we're going to have to play our very best to have a chance to beat these guys.
As we learned last Thursday night, you have to play all 48 minutes.
Really, you do. And we talked about it earlier, our B team's looking great, up by 14 points, 2 minutes to go against Bacon, and you'll lose by a touchdown. So anything can happen with that. And mentioning B team football, we had a game this Thursday at Ware County. But it's been switched. It has been switched. We told the kids about it yesterday. AJ probably didn't come home and tell you about it.
No, he
but
didn't.
Anyway, this week is Ware County's fall break, so everybody's off everywhere up there. So we're going to switch it. They wanted to switch it. So next Thursday, here at home, we're going to play Pierce County.
Okay.
That's our final B team game at home. And then on the 30th, Thursday the 30th, we travel to Ware County.
Make up that.
And to make up this Thursday's game. So this Thursday we have junior high football, last game of their season, chance to go undefeated. And then we have, and a lot of those kids will be coming up to 9th grade next year, and we're looking forward to having those guys come up.
Talented group down there.
It really is a great group. And then B team here a week from Thursday, and then B team in Ware County 2 weeks from Thursday.
All right, so just to recap a little bit, we need everybody here early Friday night.
It'd be great if you come early to really, celebrate this 10-year state championship reunion, 04 team. Just one more time, give them a big cheer, and they don't get another one for another 10 years. So actually, a lot of them will be brought back next year for the 05, but really like to have a lot of people out for those guys. And again, appreciate the quarterback club for all they've done, buying T-shirts, really nice state championship mugs, glasses for them, and going to be serving a nice big dinner here in our meeting room before the game, and giving them an opportunity to walk through this field house to see it. So, I guess on the same note, what I would say is if you get the opportunity, we'd love for you to support the quarterback club, because they do so much for us. On the road, we have to feed our kids. You travel with 68 kids, and when you leave Folkestone at 2 o'clock, by the time you get home at 1 in the morning, you've had to feed them at least twice. At least. And they eat. So, and then all that goes down to the quarterback club. So we really would appreciate anybody that can support the quarterback club and all that they do. If you would see Brian Hewling and become a member, or just give a donation if you would. All
right, Coach. Well, we'll see you Friday night, 7 o'clock or 6:30. We'll just tell everybody 6:30. Get here early. Pack the stage. We'll set an attendance record Friday night. Let's pack both sides.
We'd love to have a big crowd, because our kids feed off of it. They really do. And if people remember, about 3 or 4 years ago, our football field on game night was voted #1 in the state of Georgia as the toughest place to play.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 reasons for that. One is because we had some really good football players.
Yeah.
And number 2 is we have great fans, and our band and our cheerleaders are second to nobody. And we would like to keep that going. When Wilcox pulls up, we'd like to let them know they're in the swamp, and we'd like to have a big crowd making a lot of noise, especially when we're on defense. Make as much noise as you can, and let's try to keep being known as one of the toughest places to play in the state of Georgia.
See if we can get a flag thrown on our fans.
There you go.
All right, Coach. We'll see you Friday night. We'll see the Braves Thursday night.
That'd be great.
All right.